supporters on whether or not permission officially was sought by the speaker before taking over the legislative party office, and much more happening on that front. In the meanwhile, we've accessed the complaint that's been filed against Sanjay Raut for objectionable remarks against Eknath Shinde. So a complaint has now been filed in Nasik, we're being told, and this against Sanjay Raut for making objectionable remarks against Eknath Shinde, because several allegations though have been levelled by Sanjay Raut against Eknath Shinde, against the BJP, against the Election Commission of India. Now a complaint, given the slew of reactions that have come in, has also been filed. In the meanwhile, we've also accessed the plea copy of the petition copy of Uddhav Thackeray, as Team Uddhav, remember, has moved the top court already, and tomorrow is when the court will be hearing the case. Let me go across to Harish joining us with more details. What is it, Harish, that this affidavit copy tells us?
In fact, this is the copy of the appeal filed by Uddhav Thackeray against the Election Commission of India, ruling in favor of the Shinde faction and recognizing it as a real official Shiv Sena, and in fact giving the bow and arrow symbol to them. This plea, Uddhav Thackeray alleges that Election Commission of India failed to discharge its duty as a neutral arbiter. Election Commission of India has acted in a manner undermining its constitutional status. Plea also says that Election Commission of India erred by relying upon the legislators who are under the cloud of disqualification in the absence of any pleadings or evidence that there was a split in the party. The finding of Election Commission of India is completely erroneous on this ground. Uddhav Thackeray also claims very significantly that Election Commission erred in failing to apply the test of constitutionality. The petition further claims that Uddhav Thackeray has absolute and overwhelming majority in the organizational echelons of the party. The entire rank and file and the workers and the cadre are still with Uddhav Thackeray. Balasaheb Thackeray had founded the party 56 years ago, and Uddhav Thackeray, being his son, is the inheritor of the party and its symbols. Majority of the ground level workers, cadre supporters with Uddhav Thackeray. Election Commission totally ignored submissions put forward by Uddhav Thackeray faction. Decision is based on several grounds. Even Shinde side did not argue. And one of the very important arguments is that Election Commission considered 1999 Constitution, though Uddhav had argued 2018 amended Constitution was in force. Remember, Uddhav faction was not given more time to place the 2018 Constitution on record. This is what the petition says.
Okay, and those are the main contentions as have been put out by the Uddhav Thackeray camp as they have moved the top court. Let me go across to Pranesh also joining us with some of those key pointers. The Supreme Court, Pranesh, has refused an urgent mentioning of the petition filed by Uddhav Thackeray faction. In the plea, though, the faction has challenged the Election Commission's order on the bow and arrow symbol. If you could take us through some of the key pointers.
You know, as if on cue, after what Uddhav Thackeray said at that news briefing, he said that the Election Commission of India, which is a constitutional body, Uddhav Thackeray wants the poll panel disbanded. That's his one-point demand. He says the EC's order is unconstitutional, illegal, and is a fraud on people of Maharashtra and on the original Shiv Sena. He says, I am Balasaheb's son, and this is my party, these are my leaders. Now, the petition filed by the Uddhav camp in the Supreme Court has been accessed by a legal editor, Harish Nair, and at the outset, it talks about the powers vested with the Election Commission. Let me go through this voluminous document. Just give me some time. Point number J, what is the scope of the power of the Election Commission of India with respect to determination of a split within a party? Several substantial questions of law of great public importance inter alia relating interpretation of the Constitution arise for consideration of this Honorable Court. What are they? Then it goes into details. Whether the Election Commission of India exercising jurisdiction under para 15 of the Symbols Order can recognize a split in the party post the Constitution Act 2003, deleting the provisions of split in para 3 of the 10th schedule. The next point, whether the Election Commission of India can by an order under para 15 of the Symbols Order seek to resuscitate the concept of a split which is now prohibited under the scheme of the 10th schedule of the Constitution. What is the constitutional sequence and interplay in the proceedings under the 10th schedule and para 15 of the symbols order? Now, several Sena leaders have already been talking about this. They've been talking about the 10th schedule, questioning the powers of the Election Commission. All that has been put in black and white before the Supreme Court through this affidavit. Next point, Prithwin, whether the disqualification proceeding under the 10th schedule have to be decided first before the para 15 proceedings under the symbols order. Essentially, what the affidavit is saying, that while the Supreme Court is still hearing the matter, how is it that the Election Commission could not wait, and it has jumped the gun by its decision to give away the name and party to Eknath Shinde camp? The next point, whether the test of the legislative majority can be resorted to when such members purportedly constituting the majority are themselves facing disqualification proceedings. This is also at the heart of the plea which is already before the Supreme Court.
Okay, absolutely. Speaking of how the legislative majority can't be the only basis to decide who should get the symbol and the party, and of course we saw very dejected Uddhav Thackeray take all of those points while he also addressed the media and some of his party men just a short while ago. We continue to track that very closely. Heading into a quick break for now. Thank you, Pranesh, for joining us with those details.